Hi guys, today I'm going to talk a little bit about intuitive eating. I've been avoiding making this video just because I don't know how to put my thoughts together to explain to you guys, but I've been getting a lot of requests, so I thought I would just make one and just put it out there. So I'm not going to edit this video, so it's going to be a sit down video. So I hope you guys enjoy and I hope you guys take something out of this video. So I'm going to start by explaining what intuitive eating is, and it's very simple, guys. It's super simple. It's basically eating when you're hungry and stopping when you're full. It is that simple. I went to go get my munchkin. He's on my lap. I was saying intuitive eating is just eating when you're hungry and stopping when you're full. And I know that's not the answer a lot of people want to hear, but that's basically what it is. And it's so hard for me to explain to you guys what I do because what I follow, there's not really any rules. Like when you follow flexible dieting, you know, you're obviously the one rule is to stick to your numbers and hit your numbers every day and, you know, hit fiber and all of that. When you follow a carb cycling plan, you know, the rule is to stick to your numbers. Basically, when it comes to dieting and specific diets out there, there's rules. When intuitive eating, there is no rules. Intuitive eating is listening to your body. And obviously my body is going to be different than your body. It's hard for me to explain this. It's hard for me to explain this because there really isn't a rule out there for intuitive eating. It's just listening to your body. And I have always had a fast metabolism. So my appetite has always been big. I could always eat a lot of food and not feel full. It takes a lot of food for me to feel satisfied and full. And I'm hungry within 2 to 3 hours. That's just how my body works. I have a big appetite. I have a fast metabolism. And because I don't diet, I believe my metabolism is healthy. So I didn't really do anything specific to build up my metabolism because my metabolism has always been high. I competed in 2012 and I ended up rebounding really bad. It was only because I was really strict, and after that 4-month period of my prep, I was so strict that by the end of it, I just wanted to eat anything and everything. And I did have that mindset where I felt like I would have a bowl of pasta and I would be like, oh, well, I already ruined my day, so I'm just gonna keep going because I know tomorrow I'm going to have to stick to my diet again. And you know, it was like a cycle, and I did have that mindset for about 2 months. So I obviously basically binged for 2 months. So I went from 113, which was my stage weight, to like 147 at my heaviest. And also my competition ended right before Thanksgiving. So obviously the holidays come and everybody, well, I personally always overeat during the holidays. I don't care, I admit it, I overeat and I don't care because it's the holidays. I love the food, I love parties, I love going out and spending time with the family. So yes, during the holidays I always overeat. Back in 2012, and by the end of it I was really deprived, so I just went ham on food and I gained so much weight. And it took me about 8 months to lose the weight, and not all of it. It took me 8 months to get down from 147 to like 129, and I didn't do anything but listen to my body because after my competition, all I wanted to do was, you know, drop the weight, and I was convinced that if I stuck to my diet that I was going to lose the weight. But it was just a horrible cycle of me trying to diet and being restrictive and falling off the wagon and then binging and then, you know, restarting again, and it was just a cycle. So in 2013, August of 2013, I told myself I was going to stop trying to diet and I was just gonna work out and enjoy it, and I was gonna try my best to eat healthy and listen to my body, and if I'm craving something, have it so I don't go out and binge later on. So since 2013, I've been following intuitive eating. I eat when I'm hungry, I stop when I'm full. If I'm craving something really bad, I have it. If I eat something that I know I shouldn't be eating, if I'm on a cut or something, I just move on. I don't obsess about it. I don't try to make up for it. I just move on. It's that simple. And I say it's that simple because to me it is, because I've been doing this for a couple of years now, so I'm used to it. And it's all mental. It's your mindset. You just have to be strong. You have to trust yourself. You have to be able to move on without feeling guilty. And another question I get all the time is about knowing the difference between hunger, boredom, cravings, and temptations. The difference between all of those. I'm just going to explain how I can tell the difference. So anybody out there knows what hunger feels like. That's an easy one to identify. Cravings to me is basically when I can't stop thinking about a specific food. So for example, the rice and the bananas that I had yesterday, I seriously was craving that out of nowhere, like 5 days ago, a week ago or whatever. And I couldn't stop thinking about it. I was just craving it. I couldn't stop thinking about it. And that to me is a craving. And it's basically if you go somewhere, so if you go to a store or if you go to someone's house, and let's say you go to a store and you walk in and they have fresh donuts on the front. And you see it and you're like, oh my God, that looks so good. And you want to eat it. That's a temptation because you weren't really craving that and you're not really hungry, but you see it and you're like, I want it. That's a temptation. So I already explained hunger, temptation, craving. Now I'm going to explain boredom. Boredom to me is basically when you're like really not doing anything throughout the day or you're sitting down working on a computer all day like I do most of the time. And you just want to munch on things. You just want to eat. You're not really hungry, but you just kind of want to pick at food. That to me is boredom. So it's very important to be able to tell the difference between all of those and really ask yourself if you're truly eating because you're hungry or you're eating because you're bored or you're just giving into your cravings or your temptations. It's very simple, guys. It is that simple. Now, I don't want you guys to look at me and look at the way I eat and look at the way I train or just look at my lifestyle in general and try to copy what I do because everyone is so different and that goes the same with intuitive eating as well. You can't really compare yourself to anyone else and I know you guys probably hear that all the time, but it is so true. Anybody can follow intuitive eating. It's just basically trusting yourself, guys. And I know I said this before and I'm sorry if this video is not making any sense. It's really hard for me to explain, but it's just, that is why I haven't made a video because it is so hard for me to explain what I do because what I do is so simple. I just eat when I'm hungry. I stop when I'm full. If I have a certain goal, or an event or competition or anything like that, and I try not to give into temptations. Comes to cravings, it depends. If I just can't stop thinking about it, I just go ahead and eat it and then move on. I don't feel guilty about it. I don't try to make up for it. I just eat it and I move on. And I keep myself busy. So that's basically what I do. Obviously, I'm not perfect and there is some times where I overeat, especially if I'm not competing or prepping for anything. If I go over someone's house and if I see brownies and it looks good and I want it, I eat it. I move on. I don't feel guilty about it. If I'm craving something, I go out. I don't care. I move on. I don't feel guilty about it. Obviously, I'm not perfect. Like there's days where I overeat. Most of the time when I overeat is basically when I don't have any specific goal in mind. So I don't have an event or a photo shoot or anything like that. And I just go out to eat and I just want to eat anything I want without caring. I just go ahead and do it. And I don't feel guilty about it. It's huge. It's all mental. Like I feel like that is why it's so hard for people to stick to intuitive eating because they tend to give up because they are not either seeing the results they want or they feel like they're gaining weight or any of that, or they just feel like they're eating too much or they're not eating enough. But honestly, you can't expect to be perfect, and that's with any diet out there. Obviously, intuitive eating is not really a diet, but if you follow intuitive eating, there is some days where you're gonna overeat. That's fine, guys. It's life. It's okay to live. It's okay to eat. It's okay to spend time with your loved ones and enjoy some food. Like, yes, obviously you want to stick to your goals and you have specific, physique goals, and it's important to, be healthy and eat healthy, but it's also important to live life and be happy and enjoy moments with your family and your loved ones, because life is too short. You guys can't expect to be perfect all the time, and you should not be chasing a body that requires a very strict diet, because you will not be able to maintain it. Yes, I know it's very tempting to want to diet down, especially when you see like a competitor on YouTube or anything like that. Like you see them and you're like, wow, they're shredded, like I want to look like that. But if you actually stop and think about it and think about the way that they're eating, can you see yourself eating like that for the rest of your life? I'm pretty sure the answer is no. So why try to chase a physique that requires a very strict plan? I don't get that. Like I said, unless you're a competitor, that's fine. If you're a competitor and you need to compete and you need to diet down, that's okay. But if you're like just living your life and you want to be fit and healthy, there is no need to be that strict. Your body is very smart. And I feel like that is the reason why I could eat so much, because I never really diet. And my metabolism is healthy because of that. So guys, I'm gonna end this video here. I don't even know if I made any sense at all. I hope I did, but it's really that simple, guys. Intuitive eating is eating when you're hungry, stopping when you're full. Know the difference between hunger, boredom, cravings, and temptations. Don't feel guilty for overeating. Learn to move on. Learn to love yourself no matter what. And just be happy and live. That's basically what I do. And I don't want it to sound like I got all my shit together and that I'm perfect and that I have like this perfect balance in my life. I don't want to sound like that, but I am very proud of how balanced I am, if that makes any sense. I'm happy and I'm proud that I could eat and not feel guilty about it. And like I said, I don't want to sound like I have it all together, but I am proud of where I am right now. And I did work hard to get here. I did have a very hard time in 2012 and 2013. And, I still struggle from time to time. It's not like anything major, but obviously there's days where I have bad body image and things like that, but it's nowhere near where I was in 2012 or 2013. Say that I don't have any guilt over food. I could eat and not feel guilty about it, but that's because I learned to be okay with it. It's not something that just happens overnight. It took me about a year to get used to intuitive eating. Like I said, I don't want to sound like I have it all together, but I just want to get this out there, because I feel like so many people are so scared and they just don't trust themselves. And that's honestly all it comes down to. Don't change your mind. Don't keep going back and forth. Just stick to it and just be consistent, and you will thank yourself later. Hope this made some sense. And if it didn't, it's probably not gonna go up, but I hope it is, because it took me literally an hour to record. I will see you guys later.